Happy New Year, everyone. It's January 2023. I have an update on the project of building a sunroom with John Litchfield Concrete. Um, you can see, from signing the contract, the initial contract in March of 2021. This is how far John Litchfield was able to make it. Um, initially, I give the whole story here. Initially, um, I was looking to build a sunroom. I had some people lined up. I needed a guy that would be able to do foundation. Took some quotes, talked to John Litchfield Concrete, saw one of his projects, and decided to hire him on. And lo and behold, he says that he can do the whole project. And his initial quote was $20,000 to 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 build a 14 by 14 sunroom. It was going to be great, and I was like, I had some idea of what some of the costs were going to be, and that the window schedule was going to be anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 depending on how good the windows were. So $20,000 was on the low side. So that should have been a sign that I was being an idiot and I had selected the wrong guy. But um, you know, people make mistakes sometimes, and you kind of go with it. You forgive and forget. So yeah, signed a contract. Had some details of what it was going to look like. Had some rough designs, and he was gonna start in June. He's gonna be ready in July. Well, let's go ahead and make a long story short, because all of 2021, all I got was excuses why he couldn't make it. He was actually dealing with other projects, and there was some bad weather during that time of year, and I was understanding of that. Um, when you're in construction, bad weather happens, and you gotta roll with the punches. Um, So it kept rolling on, and then in September 2021, he told me, yeah, go ahead, get the permit. So I got the permit, and then didn't see him, didn't hear from him. I'm like, when are you going to start? Um, oh, I'll get to it. I just got to finish this project. I'll get to you next. I'll get to you next. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. Rolls up to December, and we had a mild beginning of winter there, and you could actually do some work in December. And he's like, "Oh, I promise that I'll start your project, or I'll give your money back." Well, didn't show up that week, and I was like, "Okay, that's it. Give me my money back. You said you're gonna give the money back. Give it back." "Oh no, no, I'll get to you. I'll get you. I'll get everything there. I'll start by Christmas. It'll be great." Yada yada yada, and just did everything in his power. Text messages, phone calls, begged, pleaded, please let me have this project. Um, so finally, he wore me down. I'll be honest, it wore me down. I'm like, fine, finish your other project. I want your full attention on my project. That December, uh, after Christmas, it got really cold. January, February was cold and snowy. Nothing could be done. Uh, so in the near that part, he started talking about making, instead of a 14 by 14, making it a 15 by 15. And part of the reason he wanted a 15 by 15 is that these tiles, which are 2.5 feet wide, would fit perfectly in a stamp for a 15 by 15 sunroom. Now, keep in mind that on the edges you have 6 feet of wood, or 6 inches of wood, that's going to go down for the frame, using 2 by 6s for the frame. Um, you know, didn't really need to get that stamp perfectly to the edge. Didn't really matter. Um, kind of short-sighted thing, but whatever. Um, so where are we at? March. Early in March, he brought some stuff here. Brought the Simon forms. Dropped off some materials. And then it was wait, wait, wait. What's going on? What's going on? Finally, in June, I think, brought some more materials, brought his mini excavator, and started excavating. Um, and then the first pour happened on July 5th. And, here's the remnants. That lower part here is the remnants of that pour. So it's looking top down. You can see that the forms didn't quite hold up. Um, they didn't stay straight. Um, got a little crooked. I think this hangs out a little extra here. This side's really bad. Yeah, the forms failed for whatever reason. I don't know. July 5th was a hot day. Uh, Probably shouldn't have been pouring concrete there anyway. My opinion. So yeah, I immediately, once it failed, I'm like, this isn't right. It didn't come up to the height that it was supposed to come up. It was crooked. It wasn't even level. It was off by a degree on levelness. You really couldn't built anything on it without shimming the heck out of it. Um, and he bounced a check to the concrete supplier. The days before the pour, he said, "Oh, I need this. I need a down payment in cash for the concrete. I need down payment. Otherwise, I can't get on their schedule." So I gave him some extra money. Foolish me, hindsight 2020. And come to find out, 2 weeks after the pour, there's a knock on the door from the concrete contractor saying, this check that I got bounced. And I'm like, well, I paid John in cash. He's like, well, the check bounced. It's not good. Um, Long story short here, to this day, as far as I know, he has not paid the initial concrete contractor what I had paid him to give him. I paid him um, even more than what the actual concrete bill was. I found out later, and John still couldn't make good with money he had just received. All he had to do was turn around and hand it to another guy, and he wasn't able to do that. So whatever you think that says about him, that's I'm good with that. So the after pointing this out that this wasn't going to work, John says, "Oh, okay, fine, I'll take care of it." And he had a buddy of his come out and frame this up, and this slab of concrete that we're looking at here is almost perfectly 15 by 15. And that's the result of not being John's work. So the day it came in to pour, poured it, stamped it, colored it, whatever. It all worked out. This stamp is actually a pretty good stamp. It's not absolutely perfect. There's a few blowouts here and there. Just some wonky edges. Some parts that didn't get stamped quite right. Some of the edging is chipping off. You can see that. That's not beautiful, but whatever. Knew it wasn't going to be perfect. Working in concrete isn't an easy task by any means. And then after that, John disappeared for like 2 weeks. I ended up pulling off all the forms. I ended up cleaning the yard, cleaning up wood, taking the tarps down. There was a mess from the washout from the concrete truck. I cleaned all that up, and kept calling, texting John. Said, when you coming out? And I'll be there. And finally, I went, well, I better call the city and have them come out and inspect. So they came out and inspected, and they looked at it, and they asked how it was bonded, meaning how it's secured to the concrete below it. And I said, it's not really. Um, John had shot a couple nails in it with a little piece of wire through about 4 to 6 pieces of rebar in random places, and that was it. And the inspector goes, "You can't build on this. Um, if water gets under there and it freezes, good wind picks up, it could slide a little, and if it slides even a little, it's taking your house with it because it's going to be attached to the house." So it failed inspection. Uh, that's where John lost it. We tried to get engineers in to take a look at it and see if something could be done to actually bond it together. But there's no engineer that said that he would sign off on anything that would be done, or if he did, it would cost so much that it'd be cheaper to rip it up and redo it. Um, and then the last engineer that came out, the one that John brought out himself, um, I found out that John had buried all this. You can see that's dug out. This is what John was hiding. How are you going to build a load-bearing wall on something that hangs over unsupported by 5 inches? Um, so yeah, he was trying to be deceptive. Uh, John tried to come out. You can see some of these nail holes here. He nailed in the sill plate all around, and when the sill plate was down, he had nothing else done. That's just beautiful, isn't it? Nothing else was done, and I'm looking at the sill plate, and I'm going, well, there needs to be a gasket under here, otherwise you can see daylight, and you know dust and bugs and water can come right under there. John says, oh, there's a gasket under there, called a rubber stop. Honest to God, I'll rip it up and show you. Um, well, things went south in a hurry, and I ended up pulling up one board. There's a video online of it. The board that was over here. Pulled it up in real time, and of course there was nothing under it. Things further went south. I pulled up the rest of it. There was no gasket, no rubber stop there. Yeah, that was the least of my worries at that time, because John was not coming back anymore. He's not talking to me. Going against the contract. He was calling me an idiot. Said it was all my fault. Just ludicrous stuff. And kept going back and forth with I'm gonna build this best sunroom you've ever seen. To I'll never talk to you again. So yeah, last few things I've heard, he laughed at all the damage to the siding. Said that that stuff will never come out. Yeah, it's it's been something. So that's where we're at. Um, don't know what's going to happen here. I find it really hard to be able to adequately express the frustration of looking at this garbage day after day after day, knowing that it's going to be over $10,000 to have this all torn out and redone. Just the garbage that John Litchfield has caused here, the damage that he's caused to us, financially. It's a lot, and so there's stuff that we've done. We've contacted the Better Business Bureau. Of course, John ignored their complaint process. we're in process with the Illinois Attorney General. See what happens with that. But for this project, we have to. Oh God, we got to move forward somehow. Um, and it's really tough. It's we worked and saved for a long time to be able to save up enough money to do this nice of a project, and to have our legs cut out from underneath us has made it difficult. We still have food on the table, so it's you know it could be worse. We still have our health, um, but still, it's years of hard work, just gone in a matter of months by one man, um, and just the wow. Like I said, it's hard to convey the the aggravation and disappointment here, but we're gonna have to move on somewhere because John's not doing anything with this, and we can't let our property deteriorate like this. So we got to move on. So hopefully in some new videos there may be some new information on what's going on. I hope to have a good 2023 and turn over a new year and get rid of this stench, this stink that John Litchfield has left in our yard. To get rid of it, regrow it, and move on. Who knows if justice will be done in this? People people get arrested for trying to steal $150 of merchandise from Walmart, and one person steals tens of thousands of dollars from another, and gets to walk away like nothing's happened. Um, it's sad. But yeah, that's the state of the project. I wish it was a better situation, but you know, this is the work of John Litchfield. This is all his decision to not take his time, to not do things right. Um, if he couldn't handle this project, he shouldn't have taken it on. That's that's too bad. Happy New Year, everybody, and hopefully the next few videos will be something more exciting than this. Thanks for joining me. Have a great year.